As of today, Rocksteady Studios has lifted the NDA for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's closed alpha, so while I still can't show any alpha footage or images, I am able to give my thoughts, insights, and opinions on the latest entry in the Arkhamverse. Before I dive in, I'd like to remind you all that this alpha was not the finished build of the game, and it only gave me the first few hours to play through. As such, this is not a final review for the game, but rather a reaction to its early hours. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot to go over here, but I suspect the alpha only scratched the surface of what this game has in store. Even though I'm still uncertain about many aspects of Suicide Squad, I'm happy to report that I had a lot of fun with the alpha. The gunplay felt robust, the traversal felt unique, and the story had me on the edge of my seat. Of this newer, more RPG style of superhero game that has been demonstrated by Gotham Knights, Avengers, and now Suicide Squad stands as the best one so far, by far. It has the richly layered Easter eggs and lore that Gotham Knights lacked, it has the exploration that Avengers lacked, and it has the rogues gallery that both of those games lacked. I was initially underwhelmed by the traversal, especially coming right off Spider-Man 2. At first, it felt very restrictive until I realized I was doing it wrong. The traversal of Suicide Squad is not meant to get you from one end of the map to the other, like gliding or web swinging. It's meant to get you from one building to the next. This approach really grew on me. It made movement feel more involved and stylish. Speaking of the map, it does feel empty. Emptier than Arkham Knight even. But even that is clearly by design. This metropolis feels like a war zone, but underneath the layer of Brainiac drones, we can see a really impressive take on Superman's home city. Like Rocksteady's Gotham, Metropolis is filled with Easter eggs. It even keeps that mechanic from the Arkham games where you can hear enemies over comms, except instead of listening to thugs, you're listening to Batman himself. So far, my biggest disappointment with the map is that it's really lacking in side content. Now, admittedly, again, this is just the opening hours of the game, so there could be a lot more in terms of side missions later once you progress further in the story. My favorite side mission that I came across was the return of Riddler. He really just cannot sit any of these games out, huh? Well, and to be honest, he might not make it out of this one alive because while Batman has a no-killing rule, I'm pretty sure Deadshot has no qualms about putting a bullet in Riddler's head if he finds him. The combat is one of the biggest changes from the Arkham games. Batman's free-flow combat was a wonderfully designed melee system. Suicide Squad is a shooter. It's not a mix of free-flow and shooting, it's just shooting. There are some melee moves you can mix into the gunplay, but they are very minimal. It never felt quite right to see King Shark using a minigun, but I'll get over it. The combat doesn't feel quite as intuitive as the free-flow combat of Arkham, but it's far from bad. The mechanics all feel nicely polished like we all expect from a Rocksteady game. My biggest issue with both the combat and the mission design is that they lack variety. The gameplay loop seems to boil down to reach the marker, shoot enemies, upgrade your gun through a complicated live service menu, reach the next marker, shoot more guys, watch a cutscene, shoot more guys, rinse and repeat. The Batman games are able to mix it up a bit more with their stealth-based Predator encounters. I understand why stealth isn't making a return here. Watching King Shark duck walk behind Green Lantern to perform a silent takedown would be ridiculous. I'm just saying it would have been nice for there to be a bit more variety in the gameplay, or some kind of alternative combat system that they could use to mix it up. One thing that really shines is the characters. The Suicide Squad already feels significantly more fleshed out than the Gotham Knights. This game also feels a lot more lighthearted, and while some jokes prompted an eye roll for me, many landed very well. Running into other characters like Penguin, Rick Flag, Amanda Waller, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, among others, made this feel like a very fleshed out DC universe. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, it does make me wish that we'd seen a Superman game. In an early mission in the game, you get to explore a museum that explains the 5-year gap between Arkham Knight and Suicide Squad. All I can say is I would have loved a Superman or Justice League game. There are also some audio logs from the Justice League that show how well they worked together as a team. The voice actors all had the right chemistry, and I can't help but feel like it was a missed opportunity to not feature them as the protagonists. On the other hand, it was fun to feel like I was infiltrating a larger story. In the opening hours, this game almost feels like a Wonder Woman game. Not because you get to play as Diana, but because she seems to be the most capable person in Metropolis to stop Brainiac and by extension, the Justice League. Even in her early encounters with the Suicide Squad, she seems to view them as a side mission. It all feels like a fun reversal on the Arkham formula. Speaking of Arkham, my favorite part of the alpha was the first encounter with Batman. This sequence plays out like a reverse Predator encounter where Batman is picking off the Suicide Squad one by one. It felt appropriately tense and really captured the spirit of Arkham. Kevin Conroy really knocked it out of the park as Batman once again, and I'm sad he won't be around anymore. Not only because he won't be around to voice Batman anymore, but because he was such a light to anyone and everyone who loved Batman. Rest in peace, Kevin, and thanks for everything. Overall, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League feels like a theme park for fans of DC Comics. It's not the game I would have picked to serve as Arkham Knight's follow-up, but for what it is, it's shaping up to be lots of fun. I'm still not sold on some of the RPG and live service mechanics, but the good significantly outweighed the bad here. I'm looking forward to seeing what else is in store when the full game releases. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and if you played the alpha, let me know how you felt about it. Thank you all again so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one.